Hi everyone, this is Menz here. I'm currently playing the Tier 8 German battleship, the Tirpitz, which is a premium ship. However, this battle, usually I do all my replays live here, even if it's not live streaming. I don't basically edit or anything, but this one, unfortunately, I wasn't recording with my microphone at the time. But nonetheless, I thought it was a good enough match to kind of go back and re-record over it to add my voice. In any event, in this battle, it's a really close fight down to the end, as far as me with low HP and our teams being down to the last couple ships and us just barely eking out a win. In any event, though, I end up doing 111,359 damage in the Tirpitz, which isn't exactly the best of the best, but nonetheless, it's an above average game as far as damage goes, considering there's only 69,000 HP in the Tirpitz. Usually, if you do more HP damage in your battleship, then you have a pretty good match. I also tank 74,368 damage and earn a Dreadnought plus a Fireproof award. Seeing as I took a little bit more than my HP's worth, definitely a lot of damage tanking wise. I was a little bit worried towards the end I'd be taken out because my HP was very low to say the least. And then credit wise, I earn a whopping 634 credits with it. Now that is considering it is a premium ship, and also I do have the flags and whatnot to increase the credit gain. Now, starting out here in the Tirpitz, I kind of like the play towards the center, and I don't really like to push too far out on the edges on this map. I like to kind of stick in the center just to see where the enemy's going. That way I don't end up pushing too far down a specific flank and kind of regretting it. A lot of times you see people go over to the 1 and 2 line, and then they either get swamped or they don't face off against a lot of people, or 9 to 10 line, not too many people go there, but still, I guess kind of like to stay in the middle to begin with. Not really ship specific. I do it in pretty much every ship. Like, there's a little bit of leeway. I stick between the 4 and 8 line, in a sense, in most ships, at least in the first handful of minutes here. But I guess fine. It helps your team out a little bit, which in this match, you see our carrier is about to get hit here. He's calling for help, and it's a little bit too late, and our team's trying to run back to help him. But there is a Baltimore sitting back there, which you'll see a little bit later on. The Baltimore all the way back there, yes, he's helping out our carrier with AA defense. Great for him. He does it for the entire match. So he basically sits back there for the entire match, which, I don't know, after the first one strike, I believe the enemy carrier does not go back to attack ours again. So the Baltimore just kind of sits there and does nothing. But still, we ended up winning, so he did move up in the last 2 minutes or so. But here, I'm just kind of sticking in the center again. I see nobody's really around C, which, being domination, which, considering that it is domination, we do need people up around the caps, or else we're going to get capped out, and it's very hard to get caps back in high-tier matches like this once you lose them. But our carrier successfully drew everyone on our team that was near him back to him, which I get it's important to protect them, but the enemy carrier here, he stays alive. He just pushes into his group and doesn't ask them to help. That's the smarter choice in most cases. Like, you're not going to die if you get spotted once or twice in a carrier. You can have a little bit of leeway. Now, right here, enemy destroyer pushing on me here. I fire a couple torpedoes off just because I think he might continue to push, which he doesn't. He ends up sitting there trying to cap C. But I just gotta be wary that there's a New Orleans and also this destroyer, so it's better for me to kind of back off here. That way I don't push on their side of the map and really regret it when I'm flanked on two sides. I'd rather have my guns on the right. And the Tirpitz, fortunately, its guns are very friendly when it comes to facing off against mobile ships, because they do traverse pretty good and they have a pretty good rate of fire on them. Now he pops out here, which I got a little bit lucky here. He ends up running into the island, which I do a ton. I see these torpedoes coming off and I'm a little bit concerned about them, but not too much since I can easily dodge them. But once I hit this one torpedo, I know that with my next HE volley here, I'm able to take him out. So better for me to kind of turn back into his torpedoes and just make sure I finish him off there. But at this point, still have almost full HP, and I'm just still hanging around the center. The enemy's not really committing to any one specific area, so I'm not really too concerned about pushing. I gotta worry about the enemy CV here, which, again, our Baltimore is all the way back near our carrier, and I'm up here getting clusterfucked by the enemy carrier here, which is this is a lot of the damage I take. But the enemy carrier comes and does this like 2 or 3 times, and yet back there in the B and C line, Baltimore's still sitting back there, and yeah, our enemy carrier is just, he's more concerned about himself than the well-being of us, I guess. But in any event, pretty good Citadel hit on the New Orleans. A little bit lucky, but I'm kind of in the mindset where if I have a torpedo shot that has like a 1% chance of hitting someone, I'll take it. If I have a shot that I can barely squeak off and potentially get it over an island, I'll take it. Might as well take the shot instead of holding your shot, since you never know what you can get. Now, right now the enemies kind of started off strong towards the 1 to 2 line, but now they're all kind of wrapping back towards the right side here. So unfortunately our team's kind of pushed up in C, and again, taking a lot of dive bomber damage here, but really don't really have any support from AA defense. Granted, I am just kind of rolling around the center, so I am the closest target and easiest target for him. But really our team, they're pushing a little bit too much, the Kagero, but he kind of gets away with it. And really just the enemies doing the same as we're doing. Like, we're pretty much tied here. Granted, they only lost 2 destroyers and we lost a little bit more important ship. But as far as holding ground, destroyers aren't exactly always the easiest ship to hold ground once you shoot your torpedoes off and someone dodges them. But in this sense, I'm still playing very conservatively because I don't have that much HP right now. I'm getting burned down to the ground, and the enemy carrier kind of has a hard-on for me, so I'm just kind of counting my blessings right now that I'm still alive. At this point in the match, I didn't do much, but with that devastating strike there, I completely erased that cruiser, and I almost wanted to say, sometimes in chat, I'll be like, sorry, dude, because, like, I see getting 1 or 2 citadels, but that just absolutely annihilated him. Granted, he was definitely out a little bit too far, and he should have been back a little bit more, but yeah. Now, right here at the New Orleans, he thinks he's safe. No one can particularly see him too well. He's behind the island, but still, I just kind of moved my camera up, got a line on where he was heading, and took him out there. Never good to leave low HP ships, or low HP tanks in World of Tanks for that matter. Like, I had a couple matches during this game session where my team would get down like 4 or 5 ships to 10,000 HP or less, and then move on to the next one. Like, it makes no sense. But in any event, still seeing here, me and this Amagi are kind of banding together with our limited AA here to kind of tear apart these planes, but once again, Baltimore all the way in the back, still protecting our carrier. even though he hasn't had to do anything since the first run of that carrier. But still, I know the Tirpitz can take a crap ton of damage semi-close up like this, so I'm not too concerned that I'm behind on HP, only because I know angling in between my shots, and it's basically 3 versus 1 here. We're doing well, but looking over at B on the mini-map, the enemy's making a pretty big push here, and they have that Yamato and Matana over there, so I'm more concerned about pushing over there than getting this Tirpitz out, which I think we might get him out here. I'm not exactly too sure, though. Maybe he does survive this, but I'm mainly pushing over to B just so they don't break through and take out all of our ships, and we're kind of screwed. But in any event, what I end up doing here, since the Tirpitz does have torpedoes, I noticed the Montana and North Carolina are close enough to where I can get torpedoes off if they continue to push. But I always use the torpedo lead indicator, and that Montana, it was pretty much right on him, meaning he kind of hit the brakes, he's not pushing. So I shift my focus over to North Carolina here. And I'm just kind of holding my torpedo because I don't want to fire it, miss the Montana, and then kind of be screwed there. And with the Tago, I believe that's a Tago shooting off the torpedoes, I decided to kind of double up on him just in case he misses. I'm going to kind of be able to take him out. But unfortunately, the North Carolina on the enemy team, he pushed way too hard here, and he's not that good at fighting at 5.5 kilometers here, and I'm going to smack him with my next shot. But had that Montana pushed, which they had the advantage here, HP-wise, ship-wise, until right now with the Citadel on him. If he had pushed, and that other cruiser as well, they would have been able to take this Atago out, they would have been able to take me out, and they would have had a huge advantage, and all they had to worry about was dodging a couple torpedoes after that first wave. But really, something I find in World of Warships, especially in higher tiers, people, especially in battleships, but sometimes cruisers too, they're just so afraid of getting their ship hurt or damaged and blown up that it kind of detracts from the game, because everyone's sitting back cowering in fear, trying to snipe at long range, and the battles take so long, and it kind of gets long and drawn out. Like, brawling's pretty fun. Like, I don't mean rushing into 10 enemies with one ship, but just kind of playing and pick and choosing your battles is the better way to go in most cases. But in any event, this Montana, he's trying to reverse, which I almost never reverse in a ship unless I'm stuck on an island. Now, I fired a couple torpedoes off just because I thought the Baltimore or the Montana might be like, fuck it, I'm going to push up. But they don't exactly do that. But saying that, I kind of realized shortly after that my best route here to kind of get a big hit on this Montana is to push up closer here, potentially take a big shot from him, but just try to chuck some torpedoes down here, which I always approach corners like that, or points on islands, always at an angle. Now, I'm not too well angled here, but basically you don't want to take a gigantic blow going around with your broadside flat. But finally, like, our carrier died, so I guess the Baltimore is like, oh, I guess I'll push up. But finally, the Baltimore comes up to help here, which I'm very glad, because I could use all the AA defense right now. But this Montana, even this is a little bit of a risk for me. I'm still sticking in the fight here, only because I notice he's gonna kind of run aground there, and this Baltimore burns out before I can get a shot. But I'm just mainly focused on right now, I'm like, screw it. This is kind of make or break time. It's time for me just to kind of stick out here and hope for the best. Which at this point, I have most of my damage, but not exactly all of it. And I'm a little bit concerned here because I see that Montana backing on up, and I only have 2 of my guns around to hit him. And it's definitely iffy because he's backing up. Granted, he's exposing his broadside. He's backing up to get all 4 of his main turrets on me, which pretty much made me pee my pants. But overall here, we're still ahead point-wise, so I'm just trying not to die at this point because I realize semi around now I need not to die, and I have no repair left, and I only have 2,000 HP, which 1 dive bomber or 1 more, say, HE shell, and I'm a goner. But fortunately here, I kind of hit this guy hard enough to where he has almost no HP left, and I'm not too concerned about taking him out anymore. I'm just mainly concerned about the incoming dive bombers towards me. But fortunately, I have the modifications and equipment on here to kind of reduce my basically spotting range. The word's escaping me right now. Basically increase my concealment, and that definitely helps me out big here because I don't know if he was exactly able to spot me here very well. I don't have of course situational awareness right now because I respect my captain. But in any event, this is getting pretty close up here. I'm just trying to put as much range in between me and them without getting too far away. And we take out this Tirpitz, which gets us a little bit closer to point-wise, but I'm pretty sure we end up losing a ship. But all in all, this is getting towards the end here. It's just, I'm in conserve mode. I know if we stick it out, then we're going to win even if we lose 1 ship. But grand total, again, 111,359 damage. I tanked 74,368, and I make 806,634 credits. And also here in the end, as you see, I have 4 kills here. I end up getting the Kraken Unleashed reward for 5 kills just at the end here. Or at least I believe it's 5 kills. Yep, it's 5 kills. I'm like, maybe it's 6 like World of Tanks. But the very last second here, I get the Kraken release, or Unleashed reward. Excuse me there. I don't exactly get too many of them. Which is pretty damn good for a match like this. Like, we're still behind ship-wise, but since it's domination and we focus a little bit more on the points in the beginning of the game, we're a little bit better off. Which I saw this Hipper here. He had turned around pointing directly at me. I don't know if he particularly knows he's spotted, but I'm going to nail him here, and that's the end of the match. They don't have a chance to take one of us out. But all in all, which that Neonator Baltimore guy complaining about no damage, he was freaking sitting in the back the whole game. But in any event, pretty damn good game here. Only 47 hits with my main guns, but that 3 Citadel salvo on I forget which Japanese cruiser, that completely broke open the match damage-wise for me. So overall, Fireproof, Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed, Devastating Strike, and pretty damn good. I even shot down 12 planes, but this is a really fun match to do, and fortunately I was recording. Sometimes I don't record, but that Kagero did a fan-freaking-tastic job too with 3,100 base experience, and I was a little bit lagging behind. I thought I'd be top, but obviously he did an excellent job. Most of my damage with AP, and then everything else was really minor, but that 1 torpedo hit definitely helped me out against that 1 destroyer. He might have gotten away, and that might have turned the tide of the battle. So Tirpitz's torpedoes do help out more than you would think with their lack of range. And most of the damage I had taken was from AP and from torpedoes and bombs. But in any event, thanks for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel here. You can also support me here on YouTube, upper right hand corner, through fan funding, or in the description below there's a PayPal link. Otherwise, feel free to check out my website, menzgaming.com/World of Warships, and also wattguru.com. Thanks again for watching.